Hey, gang, it's Tuesday, March 21st, which means it really is tax season. And if you're that person who's saying, I should have called Steve Cordasco and the team at Mercer when I first heard Michael recommend it, it's not too late. Call them now. Did your financial advisor pay close attention to the tax consequences of every financial and retirement planning move that you made during the course of the last year? If not, the professionals at Cordasco Financial Network, a part of Mercer Global Advisors, they surely have been paying a close attention. They'll help you understand what taxes mean to your bottom line and structure a financial plan that's unique to your situation. But only if you call them. They can't help you unless you pick up that phone and dial 855-558-3500. Steve's a really good guy, and Steve has built a really good team. I've known Steve Cordasco only 30 years. Cordasco Financial Network, that's a trade name owned by Mercer Global Advisors. Investment advisory services are offered through Mercer Global Advisors, Inc., an SEC-registered investment advisor. Securities are provided through Andrew Garrett, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Consultation with your personal tax professional, that's always recommended. Time now for the headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. Newsletter looks great on this Tuesday. I love the sleek appearance of it, and the disparate sources we relied on, and all the different stories. Man, you just give me 2 minutes to scroll on your smartphone as a subscriber to the free daily newsletter, and I will set you up to begin your day with a nice balanced presentation of the news. Yesterday's poll question, 22,527. I don't think, TC, we've ever had that many votes and this close of a result.
It reminds me, when you do the poll question on CNN, they don't give you two decimal places. They round it. And if you had rounded that, it absolutely would have been 50-50.
50.02 to 49.98.
It's not close. It's 50-50.
50-50.
It's 50-50.
Okay, so I'm not even going to tell you which was the 50.02.
Which is crazy. It's crazy.
Will indicting Donald Trump in connection with a seven-year-old hush money payment about sex, and I heard somebody called me yesterday and they said, "Hey, it's not about a sex case. It's a
you're editorializing
a tax fraud.
You're editorializing
whatever
it is. Poll question.
Whatever it is, is that going to help or hurt his pursuit of the GOP nomination? Not winning the White House, his pursuit of the nomination, and it was a 50-50 deadlock. It was a 50-50 deadlock.
Wow.
There's been a lot of question about how Ron DeSantis would respond to Trump's troubles with Alvin Bragg as Trump now looks to be indicted. After all, Ron DeSantis is clearly running for president. How do we know? You're thinking, well, he released a book and he's on a book tour and he's embraced cultural battles. No, it's none of that are the tell as to why we know DeSantis is running. It's because he's lost weight. He's getting down to fighting shape, ladies and gentlemen. From the Washington Examiner, Governor Ron DeSantis appears to be shaping up for a run for president in more ways than one. The Florida governor appears to have lost a significant amount of weight in a short period of time, with a report from Puck suggesting he has cut out carbs.
It's always the case.
Like, I read the story because I wanted there to be a magic
bullet
pill or bullet or something. No, it's the same old. I mean, they're my downfall.
Eat less.
I love carbs.
Blast.
You got me a tasty cake as part of a package recently as a birthday, and I threw down a tasty cake junior this morning.
You're welcome.
And I'm regretting it.
You're regretting it?
I'm regretting it.
Michael, there's not a day that goes by that you don't put something in your mouth and say, why did I just eat that? Yeah. But it is, I mean, a lot of people are commenting like, why are you talking about weight? That's, no one cares what you look like. That's a Trump thing.
What?
That is so not true. There are so many studies that say that how a candidate looks, man and woman, affects how they do.
I think when Trump called him a meatball and was testing out that line.
Even he thought that was not right.
Trump
did not think that was right. He's not going to do that anymore.
Isn't it amazing that no name has ever stuck to Trump?
Nothing.
I mean, just not one. And I'm not doing it today, and I'm not doing it this cycle. We've gone through this before. We solicited calls.
And people had ideas, and they were all bad.
Nothing sticks to him. Nothing sticks to him.
Well, DeSanctimonious does seem to be sticking to Ron.
It does, doesn't it?
I mean, it does.
Well,
you know why? Because there's an element of truth to it.
It's true.
The personality fits that. That's the problem.
Trump must have been a master on the playground.
Oh.
In ranking. just coming up with, the name that is just going to cut you
to the quick.
And listen, in terms of his willingness to fight dirty with DeSantis. So I said we've been waiting for DeSantis to weigh in on the Trump situation with Alvin Bragg, whether he's getting indicted, when he'll be indicted, and for what. So finally he did yesterday. Ron DeSantis yesterday at a presser. I don't know what goes into paying hush money to a porn star to secure silence over some time of alleged affair. I can't speak to that. But what I can speak to is you have a prosecutor who's ignoring crimes happening every single day in his jurisdiction and chooses to go back many, many years and try and use something about a porn star hush money payment. It's an example of pursuing a political agenda. He also referenced George Soros and in the context of Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg being a Soros-backed prosecutor. Okay, now, I think that's a pretty, if I'm Trump, I'm obviously not, but I would think, okay, that's not bad, right? Kind of came to my defense, referenced the porn star payment, but he said this is a political prosecution.
No, he said, he was like, I wouldn't know anything about a porn star thing, and he didn't say anything about him by name. So no, I think that is a total, that is a misthread of the needle. He tried to thread the needle, and he missed it.
Okay, well, I know who agrees with you. Donald Trump.
Oh, for sure.
Because Trump, via Truth Social, then blasted DeSantis. Ron DeSanctimonious
there you go.
Will probably find out about false, all caps now, accusations and fake stories sometime in the future as he gets older, wiser, and better known when he's unfairly and illegally attacked by a woman, even classmates that are underage, or possibly a man.
I mean, let's just suggest everything you could possibly suggest.
God!
It is. By the way, you know how you always say, or have said in the past about Trump, that if you throw something at him, he's going to throw back 1,000 times harder?
Brings a gun to a knife fight.
Okay, so what Ron DeSantis did in the misthreading of the needle, my words, not yours, I don't think he did not. He came out, he didn't come out hard enough, soon enough. But what Trump then does in return is completely outsized. Completely outsized.
And there's a message in there for Alvin Bragg.
It's unbelievable.
Right? There's a message in there for any would-be Trump opponent. Yeah. By the way, now when he makes the underage reference and the reference to specific. A man.
Not the man. What's the man reference? I didn't understand it. I thought
underage
it was
or possibly a man.
I understand that.
He's just throwing in the kitchen sink.
Okay, got it.
He's throwing in the kitchen sink.
The underage thing is specific.
Yes, and this is a reference to the fact that Ron... I'm watching my speech because I'm about to say DeSanctimonious. Ron DeSantis spent a year between college and law school teaching at the Darlington School in Rome, Georgia. And everything I know about his tenure at that school, I learned from the New York Times a year ago because they had a very lengthy story about how DeSantis was regarded by the students. It began this way. 20 years ago in the foothills of Northwest Georgia, a new history teacher joined the faculty of one of the state's oldest and largest boarding schools. He was a brash, young Ivy League graduate, an athlete who made it clear to anyone who was listening that this sojourn at Darlington School was a pit stop on his way to bigger things. Maybe he would even be president someday, he told his students. And then further along in the piece, it says, several students recall that Mr. DeSantis was a frequent presence at parties with seniors who lived in town. Most spoke about socializing with him on the condition of anonymity because they feared backlash, yada, yada, yada. Quote, as an 18-year-old, I remember thinking, what are you doing here, dude? One former student said. Ms. Minnis said that when she was a senior the fall after DeSantis left, she found a memo on a teacher's desk reminding the staff that fraternizing with students was inappropriate even after they graduated. Well, he's a young guy. He'd graduated from college, but he's hanging out with some of the students. There was apparently alcohol post-graduation.
It's completely...
And there's a photograph.
Right. I mean, I don't know. He hasn't addressed the story, but what I can tell you is that my first job out of college was at a boarding school outside of Boston. So I was 22, just graduated, and that would have been wholly and completely and in all ways inappropriate. Like, not
You didn't go to parties.
Not even close.
You didn't go to parties.
Well, there weren't parties. It only went up to 9th grade, but it was 9th grade boarding and it was all boys. And that would have been, I mean, I just, like, I can't even tell you.
Those 9th grade boys, they had designs on you.
Smerconish.
I'm sure.
That's inappropriate. You see what I'm saying to you? What is wrong with you?
2 former students, both women, remembered him attending at least 2 parties where alcohol was served. But they said that the parties took place after graduation and that they were not bothered by his presence at the time, although they question it now. It was his first job out of Yale. He was cute. We didn't really think too much about it, one of the former students said. Did they have a nickname for you that you're aware of, TC?
I beg your pardon. I'm truly not engaging with you on that. People on YouTube are making fun of me.
I recommend...
Yeah,
David
says 9th grade is 14. Thank you, David. Good point.
He means it in a way that I'm supporting.
Thank you. No!
Of course he does.
He doesn't. He's like, that's a kid.
Yes, and those 14-year-olds had their eye on Aunt TC.
Bob's calling
you
PCTC. That's
exactly. Hey, may I, just on the whole Trump situation,
Please.
before I get to other headlines from Smerconish.com, can I recommend that everybody read Danny Savalos' piece at Smerconish.com today? I think it's under the headline, Will He Say Cheese? And I said to Danny, I reached out for Danny yesterday. Danny, of course, the NBC and MSNBC legal analyst and frequent guest and guest host of this program. He and Maz and Tara, they really go at it. They do. All 3 of them.
Why?
Just to
Why do you have to do that?
So
we have a tremendous bench.
We do. Oh my God, I love all 3 of them.
Okay.
I just need them to get along. I just need them to all get along.
Everyone's getting along until you stir the pot, which you love to do.
So, Danny, I said, will you write a piece about whether your clients smile for mugshots? You'll read it at Smerconish.com today. It's great fun, and good art that goes with it.
Yeah.
Okay, more headlines from Smerconish.com, the newsletter. So there's a piece from the Daily Mail. Posted at Smerconish.com today about a subject of great interest to me. Was this the 5th 9/11 plane? Crew of United 23 reveal their 767 scheduled for takeoff on that fateful day was raided by the FBI after they found box cutters they feared would be used in the hijack and identified 4 suspicious passengers, but kept it quiet. Okay, I watched the special last night on Fox. It was a TMZ show on Fox, not Fox News.
Oh, I need details.
On Fox. I watched it so that you all don't have to.
Wait, but should we? I mean, I'm fascinated by this.
I wanted to watch it because I've literally written books about certain aspects of September 11, and I'd never heard of Flight 23.
So what? Explain. Legit? Did you feel like it was?
I don't know. I have a lot of questions. I'd like to have the captain, the captain and the crew clearly believe that their plane was about to be hijacked. They were taking off at Kennedy.
Okay, but this is not in hindsight. This was at the time.
Yes.
Okay, describe.
Okay, so 9 a.m., I don't want to go to the timeline. I'd rather just explain this conversantly. Yep. 9 a.m. is when everything goes down. They had a 9 o'clock departure from Kennedy, headed to LAX.
Okay.
They were called back. All flights were then stopped when the second plane hit the tower.
Had they taken off?
They had left the gate.
Taxied. Okay.
They had taxied.
Okay.
Now they come back.
Yep.
And they disembark from the aircraft. There are 4 individuals in first class. There was also somebody, I think, in business acting suspicious. But there were 4 people that they thought were acting suspiciously. There was also, they say, one of the flight attendants, a man dressed in, I get the coverings mixed up, hijab, Arabic dress, but totally covered.
A man
that they believed was a man dressed as a woman.
Oh,
There's some strange stuff going on.
Okay.
There's some strange stuff that was going on. One guy profusely sweating and so on and so forth. Yeah. They were very agitated, eager to take off. No, we don't want food. Let's take off.
I saw something about a box cutter. Was something found?
This is misleading. This headline is misleading.
That's the headline all over the place.
Okay, because the box cutters were not found on this plane.
Oh.
They were found on a plane at the next gate.
Oh.
So the speculation is that someone on the ground aided what would be a hijack effort and put the box cutters on the wrong plane.
Oh, gosh.
Now, the most compelling thing to me that there was something going on here is that the flight attendants maintained that they were then loaded into a van and driven to Port Authority. And at Port Authority, there was some type of a lineup where they were asked to identify individuals who could have been on their plane. And I'm watching this and I'm thinking,
if that happened, then that's...
Yeah, I mean, that's significant.
That's not they wouldn't lie about that.
No, I mean, it's too... No, I agree. But why couldn't you figure
Why are
out...
we just finding this out now?
That's question number one. It was not in the 9/11 report. And question number two is, certainly they could figure out who these individuals were.
And where are they right now?
And where are they? And who were they? We don't know. I'm left with a lot of questions. I would like to pursue this.
Okay.
I would like to do an interview with somebody close to this project
I'm on the case.
And figure out more. I knew that you would be. TC, what else interests you? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to ask you about this.
Oh,
there's a story that you flagged from the Wall Street Journal.
Oh.
Why I never delete any email, I just archive it all. Now, I have to tell you, I have my laptop in front of me.
Okay.
And next to my trash can,
yes,
with which I'm well familiar,
yes,
is an archive button.
Okay.
I've never archived anything. The only thing I've done is mistakenly thinking that was my trash, put some things in it.
Right. So maybe there is some
What's
stuff
the
in
deal?
There. All right. So Alexander Samuel, I'm speaking directly to you. I feel so seen, and I appreciate you. She's the technology researcher, author, and contributor to the Wall Street Journal who wrote this piece. She says, I have every message and file I've written or received for decades. It makes your life so much easier if you follow a few key principles. She said, if at all possible, if you embrace a single principle of digital housekeeping, don't delete, archive. Archiving means keeping every email, message, and file that passes through your virtual fingers. Yes, I mean everything. I have every email I've received or created in the past 17 years.
Wow.
Stashed in my current Gmail all-mail folder. That's 318,568 of them. So she's got me beat. I do some deleting, but I have to say that currently in my inbox, I have 126,565 emails.
Okay,
and
but
it
TC
serves me well.
Okay, but
because I can search them in a second.
I'm appreciative that you do this.
I find things for you from years ago.
I agree. I wish
it works.
I wish I had the first email I ever sent or received. I have no idea.
I don't have that, but I have a lot.
No, but I just
from the
wish
past,
I wish I knew. Like, to whom did I send?
10 years.
To whom did I send an email, and what was I saying? It was probably boop 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 boop.
Right,
boop,
exactly.
Boop, on a dial-up. But I have a question for
Yes.
you. Are you using the archive function?
No. They're just in my Gmail. But
okay, but what is
my Gmail all-mail folder? They're I think it's the same thing.
But how do you? Okay, let me just.
I just don't delete. The only things
What's
I
in?
trash
What is
are
in
like,
archive? Do you have anything at all? I'm going to click my archive. Here I go. Ready? I'm clicking archive.
That's not a big deal.
Okay, so I have in my archive.
I don't even have an archive.
I have in my archive like 10 messages.
Yeah.
And I can
They're all
tell
mistakes.
they are all mistakes. They were things that I intended to send to trash.
I delete like promotional emails. So emails that come to me from companies, the shopping emails, that kind of thing. I delete all of those. But I keep everything else. Like I have every email from you, from Dan, from the CNN crew, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I mean, people think I'm absolutely crazy, but I use it every single day. I'm searching my email folder and finding things that I need. Hey, TC, do you remember blah, blah, blah? And in a second, I can pull it up.
Can I move everything? Can you move everything from your trash to your archive?
Why would I want things from trash and archive?
I didn't mean trash. I meant in to archive.
Why would I want to do that?
Don't you want to get them out of your in bin?
No.
I'm operating.
I have 126,561 emails in my inbox.
I'm operating on a zero tolerance policy.
Right.
Where I'm trying to zero out at the end of every day.
Right. But that's what she's saying is don't do that. Because how many times do you say, oh my gosh, I deleted that?
I know, but I have you. You're doing all that.
Right.
It's excellent. Thank you for that.
That's like Emma emailed me yesterday a question to which I replied, I just Googled it and sent her the answer. She was like, I know, but it's so much more fun to text you than to Google.
And finally, good news for Snorre. Finland, the happiest country on earth.
That's great, except for they live in Norway.
Right. That's what I said. Finland, the happiest country in the world.
So we're all moving now, are we?
The latest happiness survey.
And why does the U.S. only rank 15th? What are we doing?
Do you have the list in front of you?
Yes, hang on.
Tell me who was ahead of us.
Okay.
I know that Finland was number 1.
The World Happiness Report. Hang on. I've got the executive summary. It's very exciting.
I know what the bottom ranked countries are. Lebanon and Afghanistan.
Is that right?
Yeah. Finland at the top, Lebanon and Afghanistan. And by the way, Ukraine, despite the magnitude of suffering and damage in Ukraine, life evaluations remained high, supported now by a stronger sense of common purpose, benevolence, and trust in Ukrainian leadership.
Well, I like that.
Yeah, me too.
And that's sort of like making the most out of what you've got.
Right.
All right, so we'll all move to Finland. That's the bottom line.
Gang, this is the poll question today at Smerconish.com. Should investment firms consider the environment and social good or just concentrate on making money? It's the ESG question. Go vote at Smerconish.com today. Please make sure that you are subscribing to the daily newsletter. I trust you already have, but make today the day you share it with a friend. Also, subscribe for the YouTube channel, ring the bell, and you will receive a notification. And we also want you to like, if you're watching YouTube Live, like what you're seeing, whatever that means. Thank you. See you tomorrow.